Emil Guillermo, Emil Amok to you. This is my takeout, my Emil Amok's takeout. My takes on all things considerable. I'm at the Fresno Rogue Festival. I've got one more show on Saturday. Check it out on Saturday. Check out FresnoRogueFestival.org for tickets. I am also pleased to be joined today by a very special performer who's at the Rogue. He's from New York. He's at the Rogue Festival, and you can see his shows starting this weekend. Here he is, Martin Dockery. Mr. Martin
This is
Dockery.
me. This is what I look like.
Yeah, Martin, really, thank you for joining me. I wanted to do this because I only get to see you and talk to you at any length at Rogue festivals. I talked to you last year. We talked about spoken word, and here you're back in Fresno, and you're doing three shows. You're doing
Yeah.
two person plays, and a one man show. Is this what you're going to do throughout on the Fringe tour this
No,
year?
no,
No.
I'm just doing it here in Fresno, doing three shows because of a twist of fate. So this was
Yeah.
not the plan, but I'm excited to do it, and I did all three in one day on Sunday. That was something I'd never done before and was pretty exciting. And then this coming weekend is the last weekend to catch these three shows here.
All
Yeah,
right,
exciting.
name the three shows. The
Okay.
first, I want to say Wanderlust because it was one of your first solo shows.
Yeah, the first. And so I'm doing this show Wanderlust, which is the first solo show I ever did, basically 20 years ago. And though I last did it here in Rogue in 2010,
Mhm.
crazy. We're time travelers, Emil. We're time travelers. And look at us.
Yeah.
We time traveled to the future. Every second that goes by, we are traveling further. So I'm doing another show called The Stakeout, and
Mhm.
then and that's a two-person play. I'm doing it with Andrew Broadus, and then also with Andrew, I'm doing a brand new play that I wrote this winter and fall called The Review,
And the
and I'll be
review,
touring the review
yeah,
this summer to a bunch of places.
yeah, and so the review is something that other fringe festivals will see. This new play, I saw, I think the second performance of the review
Yeah, yeah, you
here in
did.
Fresno, and
Yeah, ever.
it's how do you describe it again? It's a guy going up for a performance review, but it should be his firm.
Yeah, his father started this firm, Emil. The injustice of it all. I like to think of it as sort of like a Twilight Zone-y type Black Mirror crossed with Succession. Kind of like, if you like, Glengarry Glen Ross. It's just two guys vying for status and power and their kind of masculinity on the line, dealing with also getting older as they are maneuvering their way through an annual performance review and a possibly inappropriate photograph.
Now
Oh.
you mentioned Glen Ross, which is a favorite of mine. It's a mammoth
Mm.
play, and your two person plays are kind of Mammety and Beckety and Pintery and Dockery and very different from the solo show, right? I mean, so people who know you from solo performance, how do they take you in when
Well,
you're
I think
grappling
of it
and
like
dueling?
solo shows. It's like I'm telling a story, so I'm just telling the audience directly what is going on. And in two-person plays, it's there's a fourth wall. We can't see you, so it's indirect, and it's all about what we are not telling you. And so the audience experience is like of figuring out a puzzle, coming to their own conclusions about what's happening. While a solo show is like they're directly with me on the story as it's developing, and there's it's not so much a puzzle to figure out. It's just more like, uh, you know, connecting with the story through my emotions and my experience of being a human being, just like you're
Yeah.
experiencing.
Yeah. So, I
You
mean,
are a
that
human being.
I am a human being. I am
Good.
Filipino. Yeah. You
Yes,
aren't Filipino, but
I
but
am not. I am not. Though I get mistaken for it all the time.
I,
All the
but you,
time.
Martin, I know you
Yeah,
are the unofficial Mr. Asian America, at least
I am.
half by
Yeah,
relation you have in your family. Anyway,
yeah.
hey, talk about that first stakeout. That you did that in Orlando. I saw that in Orlando. You're doing it here in Fresno.
Mhm.
But what
Yes.
is the stakeout? Once again, it's that puzzle.
Yeah, it's like, I mean, very like in a surface way of describing it. It's about two men on a stakeout of two men who are on a stakeout of them. And so it exists in this sort of like hyper surreally world. It's like it's our world, but it's not exactly. These two men in this van, and they've been in this van for who knows how long, with their eyes on another van, inside of which there seem to be two men who've got their eyes on them. But through that kind of premise, there comes out this story between a father and a son, and of like feelings of abandonment and of little a traumatic experience that they had in their mutually shared history, and how they're kind of stuck in this moment until they can navigate their way through it. So it's a comedy, but it at its heart, there's something very serious and emotional going on. And Emil, I like writing plays where like you got this sort of surface story, but then
Yeah.
underneath there's like something else going on. There's a there's you should have the experience as an audience member of constantly thinking you've figured the show out, and then it like flips over on itself, and then you
Mhm.
as an audience member have to be like, wait a minute, I got to reassess everything I thought was going on. Oh, now I
Yeah.
know what's going on, and then
Yeah. Or
do it again.
you think you know what's going on. You could be in for
Mm,
another kind of like rug pull. Something
yeah,
could happen,
yeah.
or you could get it totally wrong. But now, you mentioned something about comedy, but it's not really comedy. There's something more. Comedy has to be something more, right? It can't just be. I mean, we can't just be pratfalling. Or
I would disagree with that, Emil. I would disagree. I think
please,
pratfalling
please,
is the
please.
oldest form of comedy, and that when all else fails, if you can trip over a chair, you'll be fine. A well-placed banana peel will make up for a lot of bad writing.
Yeah,
Mm.
I agree. I agree with that. I fell a couple of times in my last show because I used a footstool, and that was my
And
banana peel. And we
yeah,
got to laugh. Got to laugh.
exactly. That's a good, well-placed, fart. There's a lot for any story that's being told.
Well,
So
what
there ends
is
up to
your
be a lot deeper going on than that.
yeah? Well, what is your feeling about comedy? Because we're in these weird times when some people say, "Oh, we need comedy more than ever right now," especially where we're at, in the real world. What is your feeling about what comedy can do, or is it the real world is separate? You've got Martin's world
Emil,
right there in the theater.
I think more than ever, we need the phrase more than ever. I I have heard that phrase appended my whole life to whatever people want to talk about. We
Oh
need
yeah.
fill in the blank, and then put more than ever is the beginning of every grant application, every description of a show in a flyer that a theater sends out. So do we need comedy more than ever now? I don't know.
Well,
Um,
we're
but
well,
when don't we need comedy? When do we need comedy least than ever? When has there ever been a time when it was like, hey, hey, enough with the funny. It's really not needed now. Well, we
my,
need now. Seriously.
Martin, Martin, I
More than
swear, I'm searching tirelessly for that answer.
yeah.
That's another word,
Um,
tirelessly. Everyone's tireless. Have you
everyone's
noticed that?
tireless. Does that mean that people are tired or they're not tired? If you're doing
It
something
means
tirelessly, it means regardless of being tired, or what does it
they
mean?
never get tired. They just never get. They
Never
just
get
keep
tired.
going. They're
Ah,
tirelessly. I'm tired. Or they're not Michelin. They're not Michelin-y. They're just flat or something.
they're not.
Anyway,
Oh, you're
Michelin.
making a pun. You're making a pun with tires. Ah, I get it. That's good. That's good that you did, because in this podcast we need comedy more than ever.
More than
So it's good to have a tire pun.
right. The and we need it because we're in a situation the likes of which the world has never seen. The likes of
Yeah,
which the
yeah,
world has never
yeah,
seen.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
People are saying this is the most fill in the blank anyone has ever seen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, so all right, here's a serious question. Two-man show, one-man show.
Let's
How do you
talk.
decide? How do you decide? How do you decide? How do you decide? I mean,
We
because
need
you could.
comedy more than ever, Emil. Okay, how do I decide what? What? Sorry. Yeah.
How do you decide? Two-man, or you want to bring Andrew along, or I'm just going to play
Yeah.
both characters.
Well, I've been wanting to bring a play out here to California. I live in Brooklyn, New York. I've been wanting to bring it, but to have another actor fly out here too, it's just hard. If we're coming out here to do one play with 5 performances each, um, economically, it would only make sense if we could come out and do 2 plays, and hopefully that would allow both of us to cover our costs and make some money. So, um, I if I'd only gotten in with one slot, it would have just done a solo show again, but we got it with two. So we were able to bring out and do the plays. And it's been a long time since I've done a play out here in Fresno. So that was why I did it. I'm going to hold on to the sock. So you should
Yeah.
know, even if my hands are down off screen, I've
Hmm.
got a sock in my hand that I was just wearing outside. This is not like it's like a brand new sock. This is a sock I wore. I mean, it's not late in the day. It's only like midday, so it's not like a well
Yeah.
soiled sock. But I went and got a haircut today. This is
Yeah.
all. This is all very, very new. And I wore the sock to the barbershop, and I just wanted you to understand what's going on off camera, so to speak, is that I'm having fun with my sock.
No, no, that's fine. That's fine. The sock
Yeah.
will it make a reappearance later in the form of a hand puppet or something? Or
We don't know. We don't know.
you're
Maybe it
you
will.
know
It depends.
yeah.
If this podcast needs a hand puppet more than ever, then it shall. Believe me, it shall.
And it would, if it appears, it would be the likes of
Yeah.
which the world has never seen.
Right. Hmm.
That's it. So so
Ah.
Martin
Yeah.
Martin, now this is a serious question. You're going to bring the review throughout. What other fringes are you going to go to this year?
Orlando and Winnipeg and Edmonton.
Mhm.
We'll do the review at those ones. Those are the biggest ones here in North America. So like Fresno Road here, being a small fringe, it's a great place to come and break a play in, and it has been good. The very first performance we did, which was the night before you came, Emil. If you'd
Mhm.
come the night before, on the Friday night at 10 p.m., which is known as a soft opening when you're doing theater,
Right.
um, which is to say, not a lot of people were there, and it was good. Not a lot of people were there because we really got lost in the words and lost our place in the script, but had to keep soldiering forward regardless. By the time you saw it on Saturday, less than 24 hours
Mhm.
later, we know all the words.
That's
We know all
great,
the words.
great. And by the
Yeah,
time I saw Andrew on Sunday, he said, "Oh, we a lot of
yeah.
words. There are a lot of
It's a lot of words, but this is
yeah,
a great place for us to have. The first time you're on stage with eyeballs looking at you, it does something to your, I don't know, uh, your self consciousness, and you just suddenly go up on the lines. You can't remember where you are in the script.
yeah."
So we're getting all that out of the way, I hope, before we go on to the larger festivals in Orlando, Winnipeg, and Edmonton.
Well, I hope to see you in one of those places. But tell me, what do you like most about, say, the two-man play versus? I mean, do you like one over the other, or just a different, uh,
Oh, they're
different
totally
goal?
different.
Yeah.
I mean, I would say that uh, they're just totally different. The one person shows are easier to create.
Mm,
Uh, the plays are more difficult because it is more, as I said, you're not telling the audience what's going on, and you're creating a puzzle, and it's all very intricate, and then you have to learn the lines, which, as I just made clear, is quite difficult sometimes, and you forget them. And then if you forget them, the other person doesn't know their cue, and then you don't know your cue, and then you're just lost. Well, if it's just me alone on stage, I can just say whatever I want. It's fine.
Now
And also, I never forget where I am. Yeah.
we have talked about the creation of your one-man shows, and you
Mm.
say you never write them down. It's spoken word, and so you're not making
Yeah.
it up. You're not making it up on the spot, but it is a new moment for the.
Yeah. It is a blend of like something kind of organically happening right now on stage, and that like these words have not been like set in stone. They're not memorized word for word. But on the other hand, the whole show has already been, crafted, before I've stepped on stage. I'm not improvising, but I am speaking in some way extemporaneously, but not off of a track I've already like established ahead of time in my mind.
Now, when you and your fellow actor Andrew are
Yeah,
on target, it's almost like, could you create something new on the spot, or
no,
no? It's
no.
you're on the groove. You're heading for
Got
the.
to be on the groove. Got to be on the groove. Otherwise, the needle jumps and then it scratches. It sounds abhorrent.
Yeah.
The plays are like they it's all about dispensing
Mhm.
information just a little bit of a time to the
Mhm.
audience, and the audience enjoys picking up and be like, oh, I noticed that little clue. Oh, that's a little bit different. And if you lose where you are in the script, you that subtle, steady stream of information to the audience is disrupted, and you can very quickly feel the air go out of the play, the energy dropped, and so no, it's got to stay tight.
Yeah, and what a lot also depends on the audience. If you have an audience, if it's a big one, if it's a small one, if they're with you and they're laughing.
Hmm.
What happens when they're I mean, when you have the dance partner there, it's a great thing. When the dance partner doesn't seem to be there, how do you deal with that as a performer?
Well, when the dance partner stands you up, you feel like a loser. You feel
Yeah,
like nobody loves you. You
yeah.
feel like you're going to be alone. You wonder what's wrong. Should you have gotten this haircut? That's what you wonder. You're like, maybe
It's
I
okay.
shouldn't. Maybe I looked better before. You know, you know. Um, but when you are up there with someone else and it's clicking and you're dancing well and you're doing pirouettes and you're doing the Lindsay, um, it feels great.
It's
And
exciting,
you're
yeah.
like, yeah, we're in sync. We are. We're like you know Jennifer Grey and you know
Patrick
what's his
Swayze.
name? Yeah, yeah,
Patrick
go.
Swayze. The late,
Oh,
the late, the late Patrick Swayze. Hey,
right, the
so
Never on Time, Patrick Swayze, them doing their not clean dancing. Yeah, I can feel like that on stage. I lift Andrew high above my head,
yeah.
and
Eh,
it's a beautiful moment on stage.
just be careful, don't like pull a muscle or anything. What tell me the days of the shows now. You're performing when?
Thursday, Friday, Saturday. That's it. Thursday, Friday,
And
Saturday.
and
Yeah,
and you sometimes perform two shows, different shows each day, right? I
yeah,
mean,
yeah,
what
yeah.
what what's a challenge as a performer to just sort of like stay focused?
I think the challenge of the performer is to manage to keep your sense of self-worth when no one's, not enough people show up, to stay solvent in the face of, uh, you know, the lack of great ticket sales, to ignore the voices in your head telling you should have gotten a different job or any job. These are the challenges of a performer. I don't know if that's exactly the challenges you were asking about. If you're asking about what the challenges are about doing two shows in a row on the same day, I would say the challenges are just in the voice. My
Mm.
voice, gets raspy as it is right now,
Oh yeah.
and it is always threatening uh, to to get lower and lower and lower in register throughout the day. So I have to, I have to get some sleep. I have
Yeah.
to not speak loudly in bars, and and then hopefully I will be able to hit the high notes when
Hey,
needed to in these plays. Yeah,
what you're saying to though earlier does apply to the deeper question about why you do this. I mean, you're so
yeah.
talented, and you do this exclusively on the fringe circuit. And what sustains you? Why do you continue to go at it each and every year? Because a lot of people have been seeing you now for how many years? This is the 25th year at the Fresno Rogue. How many years have you
Yeah,
been coming to the Rogue?
400 years. 400 years. I was coming here 375 years before the Rogue even started. So you can imagine how happy I was when the Rogue started. And I was like, oh, now I have a framework through which to perform more properly. I've been coming here since 2010, and it's now 2026. And when did you stop saying 2000? You know, like
Oh,
I just said 2010 and
yeah.
2026. What year do you feel you, Emil, stopped saying
I
2000 and
still
switched to
say,
20?
I still say sometimes 19. I'm still stuck in the 20th
Do
century
you say
sometimes.
19 when you're referring to this year?
Yeah. No, I'm
Oh,
in at 20. I say 20, 25, 20, 20, 20.
when did you start doing it?
Maybe 20, maybe 2020, because then you can screw up. It was all the same. Yeah. Maybe
2020 was when
6,
you started
yeah.
saying 20?
Yeah, yeah,
Okay,
20,
all
20,
right.
20,
Okay.
20, 21, 20. I
Yeah,
know it's strange. We are in um, we're in the 21st century. It's hard to believe sometimes.
I know. I
Hard,
know.
hard to believe.
We're a quarter, it's a quarter over.
I know.
Yeah. We're in the second half of the first half.
I know, and and then you say, oh yeah, that was a great performer in the 20th century, and you're thinking about someone, you know, historic, that someone all that everyone knows. But now
Well,
you
what
could
if you're
say,
talking about yourself? That's scary
oh
too.
yeah, I
I was
I
a
think
great performer in the 20th century.
I'm
Yeah,
striving to be better. Uh,
yeah.
well, you
To
know,
answer your question, Emil, about what would sustain me as a performer, I think is like the feeling like that energy that flowing in a room between the audience and myself on stage, and feeling like, oh, okay, like this is humming, this is cooking. We're on a train, we're all riding it together. There's a palpable, though invisible, energy within the room that makes me believe that like we are connected and it is possible to connect, and we are all one. We are all on the same page. We're not so different from each other. We are communicating truth, and that we are, in so doing, we are making reality and remaking reality into the way that we would like it to be. Meaning that like we don't have such great differences. We can all laugh and cry at the same things.
that's such a great answer, because that's why I do it. That's why I do
Yeah.
it.
Did you
I
like that
mean,
better than when I was talking about the socks?
yeah.
Probably better. Probably better. I probably should. I probably should keep to that. Not. I should probably cut the socks
No, no,
part
no.
out.
The socks are good. The
Right.
socks are good. The socks are
Okay.
good.
All right.
Hey, so Martin, you're
Yeah.
you're you're gonna head out back east. More fringes. Edmonton,
Mm.
Winnipeg, Orlando. You'll be in Orlando.
Yeah. I'll be in Ottawa. I'll be in Montreal. I'll be in Saskatoon. Um, Perhaps I'll be in Rochester. I'm going to be in the New York Fringe in April. So all those festivals. Yeah.
You're gonna be at the New York Fringe in April.
Yeah.
What venue?
I'll be at the Wild Project, and I'll be doing a
Oh
show called One
yeah.
Small Lie.
Oh, you're gonna do One Small Lie there. I was gonna
Yes, which I
be.
haven't done in New York. You were going to
I,
do the New York Fringe?
I was, and then I had a conflict, and I backed out.
Why are you having so many conflicts? Why,
I
why don't you embrace peace? Why don't you embrace peace? Why are you a man of conflict?
I
Why
was trying.
don't
I
be so
was trying.
angry? Look how angry you are right now. You're so angry.
I was trying. Really, Martin.
Uh,
Wow. Now you're going to be at the Wild Project.
yes. Have you
I
been to that
usually
space?
I like that space, but I usually end up at. I like under St. Mark's better.
Hmm. Sure. I mean,
Smaller,
it's more intimate and smaller. Yeah.
cozier. Filipino size. I like that. I like that.
Yeah.
But the
Yeah.
Wild, the
Yeah.
Wild Project, good, good. On I think it's
Yeah.
off Second Avenue or something.
Oh,
Anyway,
yeah.
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 Anyway, listen, Martin. Well, thank you for. I just want to keep this short. We're going
Hmm.
off live. People can see this on my Facebook page. Uh,
Great.
Hopefully, you could use this, or find a way to use this to
To sell
for the future.
singleton socks.
Yeah, yeah. But listen, it's always a pleasure seeing you at these rogues. And
It's my
is there
Wednesday sock. I know. It's my
is a
Wednesday sock.
Wednesday? You got a
Yeah.
Wednesday sock.
Yeah. I got a Wednesday sock.
Okay. Well, listen. Once again, break a leg. I know after you've broken a leg the first time,
Mhm.
I guess you're set. I mean, you know what to do.
I am wheelchair bound at this point. Yeah.
Hey, Martin.
Yes.
We also talked at the Rogue Slam. There was a poetry slam. Did you write those poems that day?
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, no,
Yeah.
they're very. Now, you had to actually
Thank
put.
you.
They're very the poem about why you should write a poem, and it's really a love letter to your daughter.
Yeah. Yeah. This is a poetry slam that was on this past Monday. I don't ever write poetry except for the one day every year I'm at this festival, and there's a poetry slam every year on the Monday of this festival. And that one day I spend, usually in the library here in Fresno, writing poetry. It's my only day of the year in which I am a poet. And if for no other reason, I thank this festival for allowing me to be a poet at all.
It was really quite something. I mean, they say that poetry clarifies a situation. Poets clarify the things that they see. I always like whatever you do at these slams.
Well, thanks.
Competed in the past, and we were grappling. And I when I told that one poem, and you said I thought you should have won, Emil, and I didn't. But that's all right. That's all right.
It's the local performance poetry scene here is, in my opinion, quite good and stacked with talented individuals. So I every year am of the opinion that like we do not deserve to win, uh, but I am uh, because I am so impressed with the local uh, talent in poets
This
here
year,
in
this
Fresno.
year,
Yeah,
very good, very good. I didn't
yeah,
even make the team. I had to come on as the sacrificial starter or something. But
yeah,
it was a great event. I love that event.
yeah,
Anyway,
yeah.
Martin, I'm gonna let you go and rest your voice. Um,
Hmm.
I always love our conversations because you give me some insight about why we do what we do, and you
And
did it.
footwear.
You know, you did a great answer there about the. You know, there's this reason why we do this. I mean,
Yeah.
you know, we're here. We're here. All right, Martin Dockery.
All right, Emil. I'll
See you at see you at the
see you
Rogue
see you
Festival.
around town.
See you,
Yeah.
see you in
Thanks.
Fresno. All right, there he
Yeah.
goes, my friend Martin Dockery, and see him at the Fresno Rogue Festival. Go to FresnoRogueFestival.org. Get your tickets to see him. And now I will talk exclusively about me. Yeah, about me. I am also at the Fresno Rogue on Saturday. So see me at I think noon or 12:30. I'm at the Arts Annex in Fresno, and I got a good review for a change. I got a good review. Well, no, I always have good reviews, but I mean, you know, they're good. But you know, you only need one line, you know, to stick on your little poster in your card. But I got a really good review from the Kings River Life magazine, which is the local arts journal here in Fresno, and it was very gratifying to get it. I mean, Martin's right. You know, you come out here and you don't know who's going to show up to your performance, and you pour out your soul and you say a few laughs. But of course, there's got to be more than laughs. There's got to be more than laughs. There's like something deeper, and whenever a viewer gets what you're doing, oh man, it's just like there's a poem by Louise Gluck where she is a poet going out to lunch in New York with a novelist friend. And they get into an argument, and the novelist friend says, uh, we artists, we're just, playing with our toys. We're just, you know, we're playing. The people with the ideas are the critics. Now, Louise Gluck, the late Louise Gluck, Nobel Prize winning poet, she disagreed with that assessment in the poem, but it made me think, wow, artists put out their stuff and the audience receives it, but who's out there saying this is what that idea is about? This is what it's about. It's the critics do. Should we give more credence to the critics? I don't know. Anyway, it made me think of Louise Gluck because when I got that good review, and Martin has gotten tons of good reviews. 4 stars, 5 stars. I'm always down to 3, 2.5. But when you get a critic who gets what you're doing, it's so gratifying. It's as it's you don't do it for remuneration. You don't do it for fame. This thing you do it to connect, to reach with an audience. Anyway, listen. So catch me at the Rogue in Fresno on Saturday around the noon hour. Go to FresnoRogueFestival.org, get your tickets, and um, very, very, very inexpensive. For the thrill ride you're getting. For the e-ticket, it's very inexpensive. So check it out. That's Saturday. If you happen to be in Sacramento, I'm doing a 5 minute set at the World Series of Comedy at Laughs Unlimited tonight at 7 o'clock. So if you're in Sacramento, go check me out live there. I'm doing something at the San Francisco Comedy Festival later on in March. You can check out my website at amok.com for tickets and information on that. Anyway, my show, of course, 69 Emil Amok. It's the same backwards and forwards because I tackle that last taboo, the number 69. I see it. It's also about my. I talk about these times in my Trump derangement syndrome. That's it. I like to end these things with a little loving kindness, a little meditation. My tribute to Sharon Salzberg. You got to have a couple of gurus, and she has the loving kindness meditation. So, as I wish for me, I wish for you. May you be safe. May you be happy. May you be healthy. And may you live with ease, with ease, with ease. So much ease. Till next time. Emil Amok. Mahal Kita.